Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 7 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me as always and up on our screen is F10 producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with It Lives, Cincinnati Stingers 1981-82 WHA season continued. Jeff, you finally diluted the talent pool enough that you're actually looking like you might have a chance at winning a championship. How do you feel this year?
Well, first off, we're winning because of the team I built. The talent pool dilution is just a side effect of that.
Oh,
Look at that. I mean, the New York Raiders who we added this year are actually on top of the Eastern Division right now. So, can't be too diluted. Just to get everybody caught up on what we're doing here, it's a simulation of the hockey world circa the early 80s if the WHA hadn't merged into the NHL. So the four teams that would have come over, you can see Winnipeg, Edmonton, New England / Hartford, and Quebec are still in the WHA, and the WHA has sort of expanded back and added all the teams they lost in the mid-late 70s. Well, not quite all of them, but several of them. We've been gradually putting them back. And the NHL, in turn, since they didn't get those four teams, has expanded a little bit, not as much. They're only at 20 teams instead of the 21 they actually had. What have we done? We brought back the Cleveland Barons. We added a New Jersey Devils team without moving Colorado out of Colorado. So Denver gets to keep its team. And we also added a team in Calgary, but since the Flames are still in Atlanta and not going to move from there, they're the Calgary Cowboys instead. And not doing too well, apparently. In fact, are any of the expansion teams... Oh, Cleveland's doing okay. We're at about the halfway mark of the 81-82 season.
Cleveland signed a bunch of WHA guys, I think, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm just looking at the roster now. Obviously, Messier is the big one. So the WHA, for these last couple of seasons, they've tended to sign a lot of younger players and had a lot to begin with because the WHA was signing underage players who weren't eligible for the NHL draft in their last couple of seasons. The biggest name of which, obviously, Wayne Gretzky, who had been dominating us because he was in our division. And playing for Indianapolis. He didn't move over to Edmonton as he did in the real WHA 10 games into I think it was 10 games, into the first season. Yeah. So he played his, I'll show you the career here. Well, the real version here is, or 8 games rather. So in reality, he played 8 games for Indianapolis and they sold him on to Edmonton. And he finished the WHA season there. In this game, he stayed in the WHA for 3 years, all of them in Indianapolis. And you can see he put up some pretty big point totals, missed a few games the last couple of years, so he didn't quite hit 200 points. And then once his contract was up at age 19, there's no restricted free agency or anything, and particularly between leagues. The leagues can freely steal players back and forth from each other. So he wound up somehow in Vancouver, where he's having a pretty big season in the NHL.
Somehow, huh, Jeff? Somehow.
Totally right. But he tended to go to Calgary, and when I ran a few test games to make sure the expansion that stuff was going to work out okay, he seemed to wind up in Calgary a lot. And I think I saw him in Toronto once, usually with a Canadian team he seemed to go to. But somehow, just in the one when I finally ran it for real, he wound up in Vancouver. So, hey, he's second overall. Canucks looks like they're first in their division. What about 4th or 5th in the league? So, I would have been a very happy 11-year-old if this had actually gone down in real life. Sadly, this was the year the Canucks went to the finals. So this wouldn't have been a bad year for us, but I still had some rough years in front of me. I think I saw the first time the Canucks finished above 500 after I became their fan was my last year of college. So 91, 92. But anyhow, back to us. We're playing as the Cincinnati Stingers, and we built up a pretty fair team. We've still got the remnants of Indianapolis. The post-Gretzky Indianapolis Racers are a little bit ahead of us right now. But we've put together a fairly good young team. We signed Denny Savard as a free agent in the offseason. We've still got the core of the old Stingers team. Robbie Ftorek, Ben Gustafsson, who's left from that? Was Ryder Kelly? No, I don't think
I don't believe so.
I signed him as a free agent. He had gone back to Finland after Phoenix folded in 77, and we brought him back. He would have come back there's his actual stats here. He came back in 79 to join the Atlanta Flames and was actually pretty good for about 3 years, but then left after that. This would have been his last season in the NHL. hopefully he's going to stay around a little longer than that with us. He's probably one of our best defensive now. In the other half, we've got 2 Finnish defensemen on our top pair, Richard Ruotsalainen, who sort of had a habit later in the 80s. He'd go back to Finland, play most of the year there, or I think he played a little bit in Germany or Switzerland. And then he'd come back and join the Oilers with like a week left to go late in the regular season. And he's the main reason they eventually added the rule where you had to, if you signed a player, I can't remember after what date it was, but if you signed a player late in the season, he had to be waived through the whole league before you got him. So that put an end to Glenn Sather signing Ruotsalainen at the end of the year. But anyhow, let's get back to this. So we've got, I goofed a little bit on generating the schedule here. We wind up playing a huge number of games interdivision, so we're going to see a lot of Indianapolis, which is bad, and a lot of Ottawa, which is very good because they're terrible. They're one of the expansion teams.
Nice. It's great, and it's terrible all at once.
And we just make sure we don't need to do anything here. Gary LaRiviere is out day to day. Oh, why have we got Matty Hagman out of the lineup? That shouldn't be. And young, very young Tony Granato in. The 17-year-olds we got signed, we've got them in the lineup largely because, well, right now Samuels is in because of an injury, but we can't. They can't go down. We're not able to send them to the minor leagues until age 18 because they didn't change the. No, I don't think that's even editable for the minor leagues in a historical game. I didn't change the age limit, so we have to keep them on the roster, which seems reasonable. You can't just sign guys and hide them away for a couple of years. We had Brent Sutter like that in his first year. Then we sent him down to Erie as an 18-year-old, and now he's come back as a 19-year-old. He's developing slower than he did in real life, but looking a little better now. But let's...
Which is fine.
Nope, I wanted Curry on the top line. Keep that top line locked. I was noticing in the stats, Fatorik, despite getting a few minutes less per game than Savard, and being on the second line, is actually outscoring Savard. So that's slightly concerning, but
interesting.
Keep an eye on it. And this should be an easy win. I'm just going to simulate these over Ottawa, and, well, 3-2, not bad. We've got Jim Rutherford, future general manager Jim Rutherford, in goal for us. We signed him as a free agent in the offseason because we lost Richard Brodeur. Well, we originally had Michael Ute, who would have had a really big year in the real NHL this year. But he wasn't going to re-sign with us, so we tried trading him for Richard Brodeur, whose contract was also expiring, but Brodeur wouldn't sign either. So we had to find another goalie, and Rutherford is probably a little past his prime at this point, but he's doing okay. You can see he's hanging on to the top 8 in goals against average, top 4 in save percentage. So I'll take it because the league has really lost most of his decent goalies. The best guy left is probably Pat Riggin in Birmingham. And we got back-to-back against Ottawa, apparently. I'll throw Dave Dryden, our 40-year-old, back up in for this game because we should be able to win that, and we don't. 5-5 tie.
No, it's not a loss.
Yeah, Matty Hagman, 3 points from the third line for us, at least. Gary LaRiviere, apparently almost back. Oh, and we got our end-of-the-season player poll because we're at the on December 31st. The end of the year, and apparently Ruotsalainen is the top skater in the league.
Sweet.
Now that all the good guys have, or the best guys have left, although Paul Coffey's in the league, so he's actually better than Coffey, surprising. Toughest player, Dave Schultz, has left. He came back to Philadelphia in the NHL after bouncing around a few teams, and then he's gone down to Birmingham. He hasn't fought a whole lot, hasn't he? It doesn't look like he's played much this year either. Just 2 points in 34 games and only 34 penalty minutes. So the reputation persists despite him not fighting a whole lot. And anything else interesting going on there? John Ferguson, who's running San Diego, coaching San Diego, despite San Diego being really bad, is apparently the best light coach in the league.
Well, means he's keeping his team in high spirits.
Okay, and now we got a real challenge here. Indianapolis. The best team in the division right now. Ooh, 7-1 loss. That is ugly. Really ugly, and it doesn't look like any one particular player dominated this year. Some really low game scores. 41 for Peter Sunstrom. We've got the Sunstrom twins, who I don't think ever... Oh, no, I think they played together briefly in New Jersey. But for the most part weren't together during their NHL career. And, yeah, just pretty much across the board scoring from Indianapolis. So they seem to be recovering nicely from losing Gretzky. And we're 6 points back of them. Let's try and close that, but not sure we can. Got a development report here. It's good. Rutz's line is still coming up. 17-year-old Darren Pang, still developing a bit. Sutter, I think, is that, yeah, 2.5 stars. He was 2 stars before, so that's, he's just moved up a half point. We've got Dale Howarchuk, who fell victim to that 17-year-old situation last year, and I think that screwed up his development a bit. He's only got 3-star potential now, which seems incredibly low for Howarchuk. That can't be right.
Now he's at 2 stars.
Which speaking of Jets, well, not a Jet in this game, but he was in real life. Jets had a big signing the other day. Was it yesterday or today, Pionk?
Pionk signed today, Jeff, yes.
Yeah, today.
Yes. Very, very happy about it.
And we lose to the expansion Raiders. Yeah, I think you got a pretty good deal for him. It's only going to be 30 at the end of the $6 million and
under $6 million. But he's our third highest paid defenseman now. Yeah. Which they said the only bad part about that is it only leaves $3.9 million to try and sign Copp, which means they're either going to have to run with less guys, which they could do, or somebody else is going to get moved.
And we bounce back with a 7-5 win, and Brent Sutter celebrating his half-star increase with a 3-point game.
But Winnipeg actually made a bigger announcement today too, which you might have not seen, Jeff.
No, I saw the COVID one.
Yes.
Yeah, they're requiring proof of vaccination for everybody in the arena. They apparently got it for most of the season ticket holders already, eh?
Well, the ticket holders demanded it. They said 70%, so they wanted everyone to be vaccinated if they're going to games
and wearing masks. So I'm just going to replace him with Granato. So that's changed your mind on buying tickets, or are you still hesitating?
No, I'm just... Winnipeg right now has four mini packs of 11 games, but they're only all upper deck ones. Now, there's not really a bad seat in the house, but I would prefer to be lower bowl. And so I'm still kind of on the fence.
Yeah, better than the upper deck at the old arena, at least.
Less terrifying, yes.
Not really terrifying, just giant pillars in your way if you're sitting in the wrong seats.
Well, that wasn't even the upper deck. That was just the bowl from all the expansions. The old upper deck was literally just bolted onto the roof in the old arena. And I said, "I'm
terrifying. I didn't know that when I was in there."
No, that was literally the old Winnipeg arena. And again, anyone who's a hockey fan, you should read up on the old Winnipeg arena. Was they literally just kept like expanding it and like blowing out the walls and like just making it bigger. Like I said, Jeff and I have talked about it, but like one side, I can't remember which end zone or which end it was, but literally like you came out at the bottom, and if your seat was at the top, you were walking up like 120 steps to get up to the top. There was no halfway up, but the old upper deck was literally bolted into the roof. And I was at one of the last concerts there, which was Metallica back in 2004, with some friends, and like the whole thing was shifting back and forth during the concert.
Good God. I would not like that. I don't like heights.
Which should tell you, okay, maybe it's time that they do close this down, yeah.
You're getting a ton of games against Indianapolis here, and they're not going well for us at all. I'm just going to throw Dryden in as a backup if we're getting buried. We've got a couple of guys out at the moment as well. Another 5-3 loss. Tapio Levo is this defenseman seems to be putting up a lot of points against us. I think this was the year he was actually in the NHL, the only one he had with Colorado. He put up some points, but was big defensive liability. But That may not be mattering as much in the WHA, particularly in the early 80s when things are pretty wide open. God, how many games did Ashton get? 2 games remaining, wow. Got a roster space open, so I'm going to call up Howard Chuck. He's at 2 stars now. Was he at 2 stars at the start of this, or did he go up?
I went past it already, but I don't think he was, because that's why he wasn't on the team, I don't think.
No, 4th line time. See if that gets many.
Because, I mean, we could easily send Shutdown.
Yeah, well, I had only 22 players on, so didn't need to send anybody down. And that's a 7-6 win. There's a 80s game for you. Level with another 5 points against us. That guy's just killing us. But Savard came through with a big game, 4 points. And Level was on a 15-game point scoring streak, apparently. Rick Lee is back. So Samuel, 17-year-old Al Samuelson, can sit back down again. When is the trading deadline? February 14th, so we've got about 3 weeks out. Anything you think we should move, Adam? Pretty good depth right now.
We signed a lot of guys. This is one of the things with the WHA is we're kind of in tough for what we could do. Is there anyone interesting on the trade block? I guess maybe that would be.
Yeah, although maybe we need to. Oh, geez, lost.
Boy,
Ottawa. That's not good.
Does not look like it from my game, but.
Transactions, trading block. Bill Flett, who was just named the most overrated player in the league, he was out of hockey by this point. He's clinging on because with the WHA not folding and the expansion teams, there's actually a lot more jobs at the top level of hockey right now. So you're seeing a lot of guys whose careers finished. Steve Devano, Bill Fairbairn, guys who were pretty much done by this point, clinging to a career.
Interesting.
Lindsey Carson, decent player for Philadelphia for a couple of years, but looks like he's topped out here. Other than Flett, and I don't really want Flett, nothing worth getting yet, but that will change as we get closer to the trading deadline, or at least it should.
If you get fired, if you got fired, can you create a new team and then you're just going to import players, import an entire roster of Wayne Gretzky?
I don't think so. I could theoretically, but I'm not going to.
Why not? I think that would be amazing. You just put like 20-year-old Gretzky on the point, 21-year-old Gretzky on the other side. Have old Gretzky's up front.
In a rare game against somebody other than our divisional opponents, Quebec, and we'll come out with a 7-2 win. Paul Peugeot, the Canadian national team goalie, I think he had played like 1 or 2 games for LA, but best known for being the Canadian goalie in the '80 Olympics. In goal for Quebec. And now, of course, we've got Indianapolis again, and Rutherford is a little bit tired, so I'm going to have to go with Dryden. This probably isn't going to end very well. Oh, only 5-3. Not too bad. Levo first star again. That guy is destroying us.
Since you're talking about Team Canada there, you brought up, how do you feel about the Team Canada coaches that were announced? If this is the key thing, if the NHL goes to the Olympics, which still isn't guaranteed.
The schedule thing is annoying. I've been waiting for the NHL schedule to come out in a format that's easy to convert to the format we need, but nobody's doing it because the thing's up in the air, and no one's sure if they're going to just have to announce a new one at some point. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people upset if they don't go.
But yeah, for sure. But if the IOC keeps making unreasonable demands, there's not much they can do.
Not much at all.
Because really, I think that's where was it you telling me, or did I see that the other day? They can't even show the like highlights from the Vancouver Olympics. The NHL can't.
No, that's part of what the NHL wants, which has been a big hang-up, is they want the rights to show off all the players and stuff, which is causing some grief.
Running into some minor injury trouble here. Ganado's going to get a game in. Radichelio's fitness is, well, he'll recover a little bit, but I don't think it'll be enough to let him play. Development, yeah, Howard continuing to add points after he called him up. He's not scoring much. Samuelson doing okay too. Sutter, yep. Patrick Sunstrom. Was he 3 stars at the start of this? I think that might be new.
Sorry, who is that?
Patrick Sunstrom.
I think I've gone too far anyway, so I can't even go back. He was at 2.5 in my game, so he is currently. So yeah, he was at least at 2.5.
Swapping Radichelio for Samuelson for 1 game just to let Radichelio's fitness recover.
Smart.
Yeah, he was really getting run. Ugh. Well, maybe that wasn't a good idea. 10-3 loss to Indianapolis. How do we get by these guys in the playoffs? I think we maybe need to think about picking somebody up.
I don't know who we're going to get or who you want to give up. We don't have any draft picks either. You traded them all away.
Oops. Board confidence update. At least the owner's happy. Gonna take a quick look at the job security screen. Yeah, we're doing okay. Chemistry is good. Owner is still reasonably happy. Fan happiness is middling, but it's better than it was. And I think our attendance has finally picked up slightly after tailing off in each of the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, just checking here. Yeah, we don't have a first-round pick this year.
Free agents. Alain Lemieux, Mario's big brother, is apparently been let go by San Diego. 2.5 star potential. And Ted Spears, longtime IHL guy. Out there, Mark Crawford is unsigned as well.
Coach? Or a different one?
There's only one Mark Crawford, as far as I know.
I have no idea. I was just asking.
That's the one.
There was a great name I saw.
Whoops, I screwed up. I forgot to reset the lineup, and that probably cost us a game. 5-4 to Indianapolis. What were you? Great name?
Yeah, there's a great name I saw on Reddit, but apparently Reddit has died right now, so I can't get on.
Gartner's still not healthy.
But yeah, somebody posted a good name.
Okay, Gartner is almost back, and we've got a couple of days off, so I think everybody will be well rested at the end of this. Trade deadline is only 5 days away. Let's play this 1 game. Indianapolis yet again. And we finally win. 4-3 win. Good news is Jim Rutherford is red hot at the moment.
Excellent.
So how far out are we from the playoffs? 20 games to go. And now we got another injury apparently. Robbie Fatorik this time, but it's only a sore knee. And Gartner is back, so that's okay. Just swap up for a game or so. And another win over Indianapolis, 6-5. Are we? Oh no, they're way ahead of us now. Wow, they've been hot until those last couple of games. They've got an 18-point lead on us, so we are not getting that back. Rutherford's dropped out of the top 8 in goals against average and sitting at number 6 now for save percentage. Fatorik not back yet. We've got Ottawa, so we'll probably put the backup And no, Rutherford is at 88, so I think I'll give him the start anyhow. And we come out with a narrow 5-4 win over Ottawa. And what was it the 14th? Is the deadline? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Okay. So I'm just going to play until tomorrow. And we got the trade deadline message. Trade between Miami and Houston. Jim Craig, the Olympic goalie, didn't actually go to the. I don't think he was. Wait, was he on the?
In this, I don't think so.
US. No, he was okay. He didn't go to the Olympics. He did play in the Canada Cup at the start of the season. Actually played pretty well. 1.5 goals against average in 2 games, and won both.
That is
the
not
American
bad.
team. But he just got traded to Houston. And Miami is where we had traded our third string guy, Bob Janicek, at the start of the year. And they got a draft pick for that. So it's Janicek. Oh, no, they had Michel Larocque as well. So that's probably, they had pretty good depth in goal. So that's why they were able to do that. But let's take a look now at the trading block, because that should be considerably. Oh, yeah, look at that. Really picks up when you get close to the trading deadline. But yeah, everybody, it's all rentals, 1-year deals, guys who are probably going to be headed to the NHL next season. Laurie Boschman, Rob Ramage, Pierre Lacroix, no, we're not going to touch him. He's out for a couple of months. Keith Brown, Hakan Lube, Lindy Ruff, Mark. Tardif would be interesting, but he's apparently he's still at 2.5 stars, but he's not scoring at all. Although he's been on Ottawa, that may be part of it. What do we need? Actually, what does the AI say we need? Weakness at left defense. Well, I don't know. I
don't think we have that big a weakness.
We're playing Paul McKinnon regular. He's only 1.5 stars. And we do have a 2nd and 3rd round pick this year. What we could do is trade away.
Well, I'm just going to say
one of our really young guys like Kevin Deneen. We've got him coming. He's got 3.5 star potential, and but he's only 1 star right now. Or Mike Vernon.
You will not trade Mike Vernon. I was going to say Andre Dupont is on the free agency. At least in my game, he is. Who's 2-star left-handed defenseman.
Doesn't look like it in this one. Nope. Best one available is Warren Young, who was in the minors at this point. He was best known for having 1 big year as Mario's winger, and then I think he got a big free agent contract out of somebody and didn't really do anything after that. But some potential. Oh, these are guys that haven't gone through the draft yet. But I think we should be looking more at the trading block. I'd like to get 2.5 star defensemen, but there's not a heck of a lot here. Oh, Dupont. Oh, you're saying Dupont was a free agent or was on the trading block?
He was a free agent in this game.
He's on the trading block here, so that we could probably get him for very little from Miami.
Oh, they must have just signed. In this game, he had 7 games with Quebec, and then was released.
Oh yeah, this one he's played 8 games, so they must have signed him after Quebec dumped him. Shel Samuelson, who is going to be good, but he's another one of the 1 years left on his contract, guys. Yeah, Dupont may be the best bet here. What could I do relatively cheaply?
Just offer a 3rd round pick. In 1984.
Looks like we've got an extra first rounder in 84. Can't remember.
No, we have 2 first-round picks in Cincinnati. Yeah, something weird happened. We looked at the draft on. Oh wait, hold on a second. Is this?
Okay, they're good with it. So we get Andre DuPont for the third rounder, and I think that addresses the.
Yeah, I forgot, Jeff. We
Why
looked
can't-
at this last time. There's something going on with this because most teams don't have a first-round pick listed this year,
Oh yeah, okay, we got to take a look at that.
but there's no real reason for why that is.
Okay, are we fully? No, we got to get Ftorek back, so I won't finalize the lines yet.
Yeah, but the Raiders have their first-round pick, but apparently nobody else does. Oh,
Maybe
and
something to do with expansion. Messed
and
up the,
Ottawa.
team display.
Yeah. So yeah,
And let's see, another. Looks like the only. We got our trade. Picking up DuPont. Looks like a fairly quiet trading deadline day in the WHA. And Jim McKenney going to Winnipeg.
Jim McKenney. I have no idea who that is, Jeff.
He was a Leaf defenseman briefly with Minnesota in the late 70s, but mostly with the Leafs. And I think he was on the 67 Leafs too. As a young guy, or might have been close to it. But then
Okay.
he was a. I don't know if he's too old now, I'm sure, but he was a long radio guy in Toronto for a long time.
Okay. Well, maybe that's where I do know that name from.
And 5-4 win over Indianapolis, so we seem to be winning against Indianapolis now. That's good news.
We were just saving all the wins for the end of the year, apparently.
Apparently. Throw the backup in against New England for the rare out of division game, and he loses 4-3. That actually looks like he played pretty well there. We were outshot pretty badly. Ftorek almost back, and Ftorek is back. Okay, so what am I going to do here? Granado comes out. And is that the way I want it? I think so. Let's see. It's the AI wants to put Nair up on the first line, and Rodakellio seems to be wearing down fast. So I think I'll leave him with slightly fewer minutes on the second line. That may work out a little bit better in the long run. Oh wow, Barry Peterson in Winnipeg leading the league in scoring. Just noticed that. He's jumped way ahead of the Indianapolis guys. Jets must be doing pretty well. Okay, so past the trading deadline. Another easy win against Ottawa, I hope. Yeah, 7-2 win. And Nair up first star, playing on the first defensive pair. Back to Indianapolis again, and everybody is relatively fit. And another win for us. I think that's 4 in a row against Indianapolis for us, maybe? I'll check the pregame screen the next time we play them, which is conveniently the next day, a couple of days later.
Scared to know how many times we played them.
Yeah, I got to fix the schedule next year. There we go. 5-3 win, 5-4 win, 6-5 win, 4-3 win, and then they were winning before that. But let's see how we do in this one. Can we keep it going? And the answer is no. 3-2 loss. JF Sauvé, who's having a great year for them, with Gretzky out of the picture. And Ben Gustafsson is apparently sick, so Tony Granado gets another one of his occasional games. He'll probably be in the minors next year, and hopefully be able to contribute the year after that. Dryden the backup in against Ottawa. And 6-2 win. And Dryden has hung on. We were thinking maybe we were going to have to bring Corrado Mikolev up from the minors to play for him, to play in Dryden's place if Dryden ran down before the end of the season. But he's still clinging to that 2.5 stars. Hasn't gone downhill much.
Not surprised.
And free agents, nothing of interest there. Another development report. Samuelson considering continuing to come along, but he's still not up to 1 star. Sutter looking good. Gary Nyland continuing to improve. That 2 stars is probably low. No, Dryden did lose 1 point off his glove there, and Rutherford declining 2. Hopefully he hangs on for a little while yet. Howard check up another couple of points. And another game against Expansion Ottawa. 6-0 win. Shutout for Rutherford.
Just cruising.
Update. Yeah, I'm trying to get through the. Hopefully, I'm going to get this playoffs done in this stream tonight.
Well, at this rate, you will be.
Owner very happy. What are you implying? I'm going to go out early?
No, I'm implying that there's 20 minutes left, and you seem to be just absolutely destroying it. Okay, I finally got on.
We lost Indianapolis, so we're back to losing to them again.
I finally got on Reddit enough to get the guy's name. So somebody was playing a game. They are in 2063, Jeff.
Yep.
So they found a player playing for the Ferris State Bulldogs with the name of Bob Bighead.
Not bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Easy 7-1 win over Ottawa there. Yeah, how is he? Does he actually have a big head?
Well, he's 6'2" and 222 pounds at age 18. I didn't post the rest of his stats, but I got a pretty good laugh out of that name.
Okay.
Now, Jeff, for those who don't know, how does the game generate names?
Basically, there's a list of first names and a list of last names for each nationality, and well, not necessarily nationality for various ethnic groups. There's so like say a French Canadian one, an English Canadian one, and a whole bunch of others. You can, I can't remember if the actual names are visible anywhere in the game's files. May not be, but it picks one, and based on how common the name is, John obviously gets chosen fairly frequently, or and Smith is probably the most common English game, I think. But somewhere on the list is the name Bighead, or he was in the database. If a player starts in the database, he'll also get added to the list at the start of the game. And,
so I gotta say, there's probably a hockey player whose name was Bighead.
Yep, 10-3 win. If you Google that on Elite Prospect, or just go into Elite Prospects and look it up. I'm guessing you found him. You'll find him. And Robbie Fatorik down for 1 game, but what I hope is only 1 game at least.
All right, now you got me curious, and now I'm running over to try and get it.
And we get a 6-5 overtime win over Ottawa. These are WHA overtime rules, so there's no shootout, and you don't get a point for losing. And apparently Jacques Demers, who's the coach in Quebec, is losing control of the dressing room, so he might be out by the end of the year. They're in last place now. It looks like New England has bounced back a little bit and passed the expansion Raiders, and we've got New England tonight.
There is someone named Jessen Bighead playing right now.
Where is he?
He's from Thunder Bay. He's 6'5", weighs 229 pounds. He's only playing in this. Is that just high school hockey? I'm not even sure. CAHS.
Yeah, Canadian high school.
Yeah. Well, would have been playing, I guess. There's another one in here. But it's a hyphenated name, which makes it even all the better. It is Marcus Bighead Loon.
Good combination. You get a 6-5 win over the expansion New York Raiders. We've got the late Pelly Lindbergh in goal. And Fatorik's finally back.
From Slater Falls Nation. in Ontario. Playing in the GMHL, which is
Toronto.
yeah.
Wait, GMHL? Great. No, Toronto's GT.
GTH. That's Greater Toronto. GMHL is Greater Metro Junior A.
Oh, that is Toronto then.
Yep. The things you learn.
Okay.
I'm a fan of this player already.
Back to beating up on Ottawa, 2-1 win. Ftorek gets 2 points in his first game back. We are almost to the end of the year. Oh, that's could be big. Indianapolis loses Larry Murphy, who may have been their, if not their best player, close to it with for 4 months with a broken elbow. And at the same time, Stu Gavin, one of their better middle line guys, good penalty killer, is suspended for 4 games. How many games do they have? And they've only got 2 games left in the regular season, so I think I left us at 78 games. So if we've got them in the first round, they just got a lot weaker all of a sudden. And we come out of a game with New England with a 3-3 tie. Oh, somebody got hurt or suspended. Gustafsson, what did you get suspended for? You're not a dirty guy. Oh, man. 5 games, too. That doesn't help going into the playoffs, so we're going to be without him for a bit of the first round. Hey, not great news. That's a bit of a scoring depth gone. Dryden and goal. Against Ottawa, because these are, I think, pretty much nothing games at the end of the year. We can't really influence.
I think you're getting too
standings anywhere.
You're getting too cocky here. You're going to get blown up by Indianapolis.
Do we have 3 games left or more than that? 2 games left. So, yeah, no, it's 78 games. So we got 1 against Ottawa, 1 against New York, and we got Ottawa tonight. Please don't get anybody hurt these last couple of games. A 9-5 win over Ottawa to boost our confidence heading at the end of the year, and we got 1 last game against New York. What were you going to say?
Nothing. Nothing at all, Jeff.
And a 7-2 win to round out the year. Brent Ashton, who hadn't been having a big year for us, I don't think, gets a hat trick. Oh, did we have anybody to re-sign? Dino Cicerelli just re-signed with Birmingham, so they're going to have him for another couple of years. He's not going to the NHL. Oh, DuPont.
Hagman we never signed.
Oh, Hagman, yeah, and...
Actually, he wants a decent deal, at least in my game, so...
Oh, did he want a big... Oh, no, 150 for 3 years. I thought he was asking for more than that. He wants a no-movement clause.
I think he did want more than that, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to... Let's match that. Let's take it down to 130 if he... Or, oops, clicking the wrong thing. Take it down to 130 and see if he... No, he's sticking to that 150. Tried it. 140 and 150 for the last year. Nope, he's absolutely wants 150. So we'll give it to him just to keep him happy going to the playoffs. I'm going to see if Andre DuPont... Oh, he wants it. No movement clause, but he wants only a $15,000 contract.
Oh, that's...
I'm not giving him a no movement clause, but...
So offering him $20,000?
I'll even offer him 25. Oh, he'll take it. And do we have the... Nope, no playoff screen set up. So let's see. New England does beat out New York Raiders in the East, but Quebec finishes behind the expansion team. Birmingham and Winnipeg dominating the other side over the Oilers are pretty good too. And yeah, Indianapolis finishes 11 points up on us. Oh, but look at that. Curry had a pretty good run near the end, I guess. He finished second overall in league scoring to Barry Peterson, Winnipeg.
Nice. Nice.
Third overall in goals, too. Glenn Anderson, who's also in Winnipeg. Led with 59.
Did you try offering Dave Dryden another contract or not? Or are you just going to let him go?
I'm just going to let him go because we got Vernon coming. I think Mikolev will be our backup next year.
Or Vernon if he jumps.
He may be a little too far out on that yet, I think. Stat-wise, just looking at how he finished up, Torek did still wound up ahead of Savard in points, so that, at least that's giving us good second-line scoring. Gustafsson, kind of a disappointing year. He fell off a bit. Patrick Sunstrom and his brother both, I think, continuing to improve. Good. Ashton was at 39 points. He went down. That's moderately concerning. Rutherford, who's had a lot of fitness problems this year, kind of leveled off. Ruotsalainen with a very big year, 96 points. Brent Sutter, only 19 points. He had a lot more in the real NHL this year, but he was playing with the Islanders, so he had pretty good teammates around him. Dale Hawerchuk finishes the year with 10 points. Hopefully he'll take a big step forward next year. And DuPont played 18 games for us, 1 assist. I know we did have Mikolev play a few games at the start of the year. I guess somebody was hurt at one point. He got a little bit in. Rutherford with good numbers, 338 goals against average. I'm just going to take a very quick look at the NHL before we... oh, they're not quite done their season, but Gretzky and Bossy dueling for the... Wow, Mike Bossy, 102 goals.
Holy cow.
What happened there?
That's impressive.
Yeah. Gretzky only 61, although Gretzky has 111 assists. So yeah, Cleveland, who had been doing better when we started this, seems to have fallen back. So none of the expansion teams really doing that much. Looks like it's Montreal and the defending champion Islanders, and maybe Vancouver with Gretzky on the team. I have a chance there, but let's get ahead to our playoffs now. And DuPont and Hagman both signed with us. Did we get any nominations? Hey, I'm nominated for Best Coach.
That's a surprise.
And Best GM. A surprise. Perfectly logical. And I think that's the top defenseman award that Ruotsalainen is nominated for, and Jim Rutherford is top goalie. Don't think he'll get it. Oh, and Curry and Ruotsalainen are 2 of the 3 MVP candidates. Ray Bourque, who's playing on that ridiculously overloaded defense in Birmingham, is the other one. So 2 out of 3 chance of getting the MVP. And Peterson, the leading scorer, didn't get in there, although he had pretty good teammates, I think. Now, the way this works, I think I set the divisions up. Yeah, I think the playoffs, I think the seeding is by conference. So we get New England in the first round because they finished 3rd overall in the conference. And Indianapolis would be playing New York, so we do have the home advantage for this series. So do I have the lines like I want them? Gustafsson is still unfortunately suspended. Do I have... Actually, I don't need to play Granato there. I'm going to call Byron Shutt back up. Because the roster limits go off in the off season. And yeah, I'm going to leave Rutherford on the top pair for the playoffs. So game 1 against New England. And a 4-3 win for us. Wow, all 4 goals from Brent Ashton.
Nice.
So he's showing up for the playoffs.
Color me a little bit surprised.
Next game up, also against New England. Rutherford back in goal again. And they beat us 5-4 in overtime. And outshot us fairly handily too, 45 or 50 to 32. Gustafsson is finally back from suspension, so I can pull a shutout and we can get our real second line winger back in there. Why did Naira wind up behind DuPont? I don't want that. Game 3 against... how long is this series, incidentally? Best of 7. Yeah, actually, I think last year we screwed that up, and I think I had a best of 1 series in the first round. And we were surprised when it was instantly over. Yeah. And we went 6-3. Rutsalainen with a big game, so we're up 2-1 now. Can we make it 3-1? Everybody's still nice and fit. That's good news, but 5-1 loss. Neil Belland, who played a little bit for the Canucks in this season in real life, is the first star. And there are no sweeps in any of the series. Edmonton and Winnipeg, that'll be a tough one. Birmingham looks like they're about ready to finish off Houston, but we've got somebody hurt, or no, it's Naira. Allergic reaction. Who gets an allergic reaction in the middle of the playoffs? Come on.
You never know where dust comes from.
I have no idea what you mean by that.
You
never know where dust comes from?
Yes. The most common allergy is dust.
Okay. So, game 5 to take the lead in the series. And we lose it 4-3. So next we lose one more and we're out here. And it's an upset too. Don't want that. And we're actually in... oh man, and look at that. That's really tempting. Mike Bullard just went down with an injury too. Indianapolis' best player. Or one of, probably their leading scorer and arguably their best player. Because Larry Murphy, who's also out, is up there too. So they're hurting. Come on, guys. Just going to double check the lines here. No, everything is set up the way I wanted, I think. Here we go. 6-2 loss, and we are out of the playoffs. Disappointment yet again. We should not have gone out of the first round there.
Jeff, if I ever get to decide to buy a thing and get some musical interludes on it, boy, that's going to be.
I'm not looking forward to that. Okay, so I'll just advance it a week at a time here. Oh, actually, we got through most of the second round already. And look at this, with those guys out in Indianapolis, New England is actually up 3-1 over Indianapolis. So this should have been us.
Losing 3-1?
No, that should have been us beating them 3-1.
Yeah, probably not.
Hey, P-Wog in the chat. Oh, power's out in Michigan, eh?
Well, thanks for still tuning in.
Yeah, using your cell
I didn't know
on this. Don't blow up your phone bill for us.
I didn't know the power's out in Michigan.
Crazy summer. And, Indianapolis bouncing back. It's 3-2 now. That was
for the first few days, and I don't know how long, we don't have any smoke in the air.
Yeah, we got it back now, and then Vernon nearly burned down last week. He had a really close call. It was actually, like Vernon, I'm in Kelowna, and Vernon's just to the north of us, and the whole city was on evacuation alert for one day last week.
That's fun.
Really bad fire burning between here and Kamloops. Okay, come on, why are we going day to day like this? Oh, this is Nyrip is on the verge of coming back. Not that that helps us at all. And Indianapolis has tied the series.
P-Wog, if you're without power in your house or relying on that for your temperature, that's not bad. All things considered.
Well, it's a little warm for Michigan, I think. 85.
Oh, it's warm. Don't get me wrong, but it could be worse.
And Indianapolis has bounced back to make it into the final. And have they got all their guys back? Casper's out too, but Murphy isn't back yet. Apparently Bullard is back. Seeing if they can defend their title. Can they do it? May 2nd, 1982, my 12th birthday. Now we got a Hall of Fame nominee. Not a lot of great ones. Not taking the leaf. Got to pick one of them, so I think Fern Flaman actually made it into the Hall, so we'll vote for him. More development. Oh, Brent Sutter hits 3 stars, so he jumped a full star forward this season. That is very good news. Be ready for a big year next year. And what's that? 2-2 side, 2-2 after the first 4 games.
Tiny RL says huge growth from Sutter.
Yep, full point over the course of the year. And Indianapolis defends their title without Gretzky. Very impressive. 4-2 win over Birmingham. Now let's have a look and see what's going on in the NHL. Oh, they're in the finals already. And oh, wow, look at that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Typical early 80s Canucks. They made it in the playoffs and get upset in the first round despite having Wayne Gretzky. Lost to
Sounds
Minnesota.
about right.
So let's see. Second rounders, Islanders seem to be cruising. Another Islanders-Montreal confrontation, but Montreal comes out on top this time. And over on the other side, Atlanta, surprisingly, makes the final. How did they do in the regular season? Were they particularly good or something? No, they were actually under 500. They're having the Canucks playoff run. This would have been the Canucks 81-82 playoff run to the final where they got beat by the Islanders, but instead the Canucks are actually good, so they wound up losing. And who's on that Atlanta team that's made the final? Okay, basically it's their late 70s team. Guy Chouinard, like the guys who were still there before they moved to Calgary. Jean Pronovo, who's... Oh, no, he had an okay season for Washington this year, and then I think he was pretty much done after that. Tom Lysiak didn't get traded to Chicago. But, yeah, this is basically the late 70, very... almost, well, not totally unchanged, but very similar to what the actual late 70s Flames were in. Yeah, Dan Bouchard in goal. Are they... They must have traded a goalie away mid-season because I'm not seeing that. Oh, Tim Bernhardt was sent down, and they called up Peter Lindmark, who was a pretty good national team goalie for Sweden for a few years, but never made the never came over to the NHL. Oh, so we've got our award ceremony at the end of the season. Let's see what we get.
Dun, 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 dun.
MVP goes to Yari Curry, so we get that. Playoff MVP, that's not going to be one of our guys. To Pio Levo, who was very good against us this year. Lou Kaplan Trophy for Rookie of the Year, and none of our guys eligible. I think that's going to be, yeah, Hakan Lube of New England, 76 points. Ruotsalainen may have a shot at Best Defenseman, and he gets it. So 2 awards for us this year. Best Goalie nominee, Jim Rutherford is in there. I don't think he's going to get that. That's probably going to be, oh, it's Riggin. I thought it was going to be Garrett. That probably deserved for Pat Riggin. Now the really ones that really matter, Best GM and Best Coach. I am nominated for both. GM of the Year is, me.
Wow, something's wrong with this game. Something's very wrong with this game.
Do I sweep it? Yes, I sweep it. Best GM of the Year and Best Coach.
That's weird.
Clearly brilliant decisions there by the voters.
Clearly something has been broken. Yes, I think we can all agree on that.
No. Legendary coaching for me this year that somehow got us upset in the first round.
Normal coaching from you this year that got us upset in the first round.
Looks like Atlanta took a game off of Montreal, but they're up 2-1. I think that's... Oh, wow, look at that. They turned it around. Atlanta Flames, in a huge upset. They didn't even exist at this point. They had moved to Calgary this season.
To put it lightly.
And who led them through the playoffs? Wow, I got to take a quick look here. Oh, Guy Chouinard. who was slowing down at this point in reality, although he was only 25, but 37 points in 23 games. He must have been the MVP. Red Lawrence, longtime minor leaguer, didn't really have a lot of success in the NHL. I think he had one good year with, it was either St. Louis or Calgary, but puts up a point a game. Looks like he was on their first line. And yeah, it's just so Bill Clement, probably better known as a broadcaster, but had a very good playoff, good defensive forward. And yeah, it was Bouchard. No, not. Oh, look at the wrong thing. Playoff goalie stats. No, his goalie stats are okay-ish, but not great. But I think that's Chouinard carried that team to a huge upset. Phil Sykes, another American Olympian that didn't actually play for the that team in the game, but somehow the Atlanta Flames. And didn't the Flames? Yeah, well, it was Calgary and ours. But Calgary got an upset Stanley Cup in the first year of your San Jose game, didn't they?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Calgary won the cup in the first year of your the San Jose game you got going
Yes.
on our other stream.
Yep, they did.
Okay, so John Ferguson, despite being one of the best light coaches in the league, just got fired from San Diego. And they fired Lou Goalie, former Penguins coach, to replace him. And Danny Belial also, oh wow, that's surprising. He was for an expansion team. I thought they had done reasonably well. And John Ferguson, who just fired by San Diego, winds up going to New York. He was actually the Rangers GM for a few years. But instead he's going to the New York Raiders. And just heading up to the end of the off season. Anything you can think of that we need to do here, Adam?
We signed everybody. Do you have our draft stuff? No, I can't really think of no.
We got any minor leaguers that are worth re-signing? Wait, do we have Ashton signed? Is that right? Wow, we almost blew that. Brent Ashton was a free agent at the end of the year.
Well, he wanted a lot of money or something.
No,
yeah.
Only 185 now, and not even a no trade clause. Sure, you can have that, dude. It's like a $10,000 increase. And I think I will let Dryden slide at the end of the year. That's the only significant guy we're going to lose. I'll finish up the Hall of Fame voting. Ted Lindsay, obviously. See, Dean Prentice, Alan Stanley, and I'm going to go with Vic Hadfield. And the Stingers renewed my contract, as well they should have. And our head scout, Barry Fraser, who we stole from the Oilers, I think, wants to renew, as does Charlie Hodge, Elmer Benning. A pretty good scouting staff here. And I will extend all of those guys. And there we go, the end of the year. Look at all these blue check marks, Adam. Other than
something's broke. Something must be broke.
25 points, more than doubling our career score. And I got 5 points to play with here. Gonna continue to bump my, oh, actually I should, no, take that out of defense and focus a little more on improving our forwards. So that is the end of this season. I'll take a quick look at the upcoming free agent. Yeah, no, it's the NHL one. Upcoming WHA free agents. So actually, it looks like most teams managed to tie up their young guys. But Ray Bourque is probably gone for the NHL. John Ogrodnik likewise. So Edmonton and Birmingham going to hurt a little bit, although Birmingham still has a deep D. Steve Larmer probably headed out too. And the next best guy that's leaving is Dryden. So much thinner crop out of the WHA free agents this year, and who we got on the other side. Dave Christian, who had left a couple of years ago to, I think he was in the WHA. Yeah, he was with Winnipeg for
Yep.
his first couple of years. So he may be coming back if somebody can get him. Joey Mullen. Guy Lapointe, who's somehow persisted. He was really going downhill by this point in the actual 81-82 season, but put up 108 points this year. So he's around. Chico Resch. Just going to take a quick look to see if there's any decent goaltenders we could maybe sign and trade.
Glenn Healy.
Free agent, but okay. Glenmark, Bromley. No, it looks like the other guys coming out of the NHL aren't going to be much improvement.
We load up on these guys on 10-year contracts and lock them to being in the WHA.
If they'll sign 10-year contracts, which is highly unlikely.
Well, what's his name did, but you didn't. You chose not to sign him to a 10-year contract, foolishly. Mike Vernon. I think
he's up to a star, so he's no longer half a star.
I told you. I think if we get the young guys signed early for big contracts, it'll work out much better for us. Golden Mafia in the chat says, I remember watching the WHL on Global during afternoon games on the weekend. I think it was on Saturdays.
Okay, I think we're done here, Adam.
I think we should call it a stream for the night, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've been on for over an hour.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so I'll go ahead and sign off for us.
All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Franchise Hockey Manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. You can also find these videos archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments as well. You can also find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. We can also find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio. Of course, you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to our official forums where you can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, Out of the Park Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Jeff, did I miss anything?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything there. Work still ongoing on FHM 8, making some good progress. Been working on the 2D match engine lately. Sebastian and I have been going back and forth. I think we got the players moving. Figured out something the other day that I think we should have the players moving a little more smoothly now. I got to look at that a little bit again later tonight, but should have a little bit more news about all the stuff that's going to be coming with that. We got some interesting new things coming this year for you. So once we can talk about that, we will. But in the meantime, we will be back next week with Adam's San Jose Sharks stream. What point in the season are we at there?
We're just pushing towards the trade deadline. So we've kind of recovered. We're in, I believe, January.
We are in a playoff spot right now, I think, right?
Yes, we're pushing towards the trade deadline. I don't remember exactly what the point is, but
okay, so
it might be early.
It'll be your turn to lose in the first round next week, then.
Very possibly, yes. Or maybe just completely blow it and miss the playoffs. Who knows?
Always
crazier things have happened.
Okay, well, thanks for coming out, everybody, and we will be back a week from now.